Welcome to a soccer Sunday night, Fenton, Missouri, Toyota Stadium, home of St. Louis SC. Tonight, a key matchup with the Tampa Bay Rowdies. And we are thrilled to have you along for the ride. Drew Felios alongside Lee Godfrey. Lee, this should be a very interesting battle here tonight.
Yeah, they are all big games now as the season is winding down. St. Louis looking to get back to their winning ways after their loss Thursday. Neil Collins and the Tampa Bay Rowdies looking for their fourth win in a row, but they've had difficulty earning points on the road this season.
Our players to watch. First, we begin with Martin Patterson for Tampa Bay.
Yeah, 9 games started, 6 goals. The Englishman is an exciting and passionate player to watch. He helped Burnley earn promotion to the EPL in 2009, making 130 appearances, scoring 29 goals, and he's certainly found his form recently with the Rowdies.
And our Toyota player to watch for St. Louis in goal, there's Adam Grinwis.
Yeah, in 10 matches this season, he's been very strong. Only 9 goals against, 42 saves, and 5 clean sheets. He will need to be at his game tonight with this Rowdies attack.
How about our starting 11s now, brought to you by Syberg's family of restaurants for the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Lee, what stands out?
Yeah, 2 changes from their game last weekend. Walter Restrepo coming in for Alex Morel, making his first start as a member of the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Michael Nanshoff starting for Joe Cole, who was injured in that game last week. And, of course, Matt Pickens looking for his 4th clean sheet in a row.
And for St. Louis FC, their head coach Preki continues to look for the right mix. Many changes tonight.
Yeah, because of that Thursday game, 6 changes from that Thursday loss. Daniel Jackson in for Christian Valesky. Of course, Austin Ledbetter coming in at left back. And there you see number 99, Adam Grinwis coming in for Gorick tonight.
It's been a bumpy 2017 for St. Louis FC, but 3 points would go a long way here tonight. St. Louis and Tampa Bay set to tangle. Coming up next.
Welcome to Toyota's National Clearance Event.
We love adventure and we want something safe.
RAV4 comes with Toyota Safety Sense Standard.
Just imagine the things we'll see.
Here we go. Oh, look at the zebras.
Oh, look at those 2 rhinos. Oh.
Are they?
Maybe the beach.
Love the beach.
Right now, you can lease a new 2017 RAV4 for $199 per month or get $2,000 customer cash on a new RAV4.
Enjoy the sights.
Toyota, let's go places.
You guys are ready!
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are ready!
Ticket, please.
Of course, I got it right here.
There's nothing there.
It's loading. It takes a little bit. Just give me like a minute, guys.
Here's my ticket. It's starting. Mine works.
Bob realized his network coverage was a no-show. That's why he switched to Metro PCS, because he figured out he gets a network that's more reliable than ever, covering 99% of people in the U.S. Switch now and get 2 lines for only $50 period, plus 2 free Samsung Galaxy phones. Metro PCS, wireless figured out.
The best things in life are free, but you can give them to the birds and bees.
There's really only one place where the carpets are always red and the stars are everywhere you look. There's no place like Hollywood. Hollywood Casino St. Louis.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh.
It only takes a moment to make a moment.
Cheers.
Take time to be a dad today.
And we are set for kickoff in Fenton. St. Louis FC set to duel with the Tampa Bay Rowdies as the Rowdies come in playing their best soccer of the season, led by Stuart Campbell. Has been through a lot of highs and lows with this franchise, but Lee, right now he has got them rolling.
Yeah, he does. They went 8 games without a win, and then they turned it around against the national game here on ESPNU against FC Cincinnati, winning that 2-0, and they really had a bit of a tactical change in a couple of areas, which has really helped them find the back of the net. They've been strong defensively all season long, but now the goals are coming as well.
For St. Louis FC, it's a team that lost 2-1 at Tulsa on Thursday. Interesting to see how the team responds tonight. Preki trying to push all sorts of buttons, trying to find consistency. It's been a work in progress.
Yeah, it certainly has. His first year with St. Louis FC, and it always is a challenge to find that right blend of players and who clicks together and who doesn't. And they've had such a challenging season with the flooding and just trying to get their schedules together and be able to play as a team. And you know, they had so many spurts where there's so many days and weeks sometimes in between games. You just can't get that consistency going. So you have to feel for the fans of St. Louis, because they certainly are trying their best to get it going.
And St. Louis threatening immediately inside the 18. The Rowdies able to send that one out. Tampa Bay will wear the all-white tonight, and St. Louis in the green and navy blue. Our Mercy injury report tonight. And some of the players that are not participating, West Sharpie, Matt Sheldon as well.
Yeah, he's the latest one added to that. A knee for Sharpie, Shelton, a foot injury, and there's also a few players out for the Tampa Bay Rowdies as well. Leo Fernandez still out. Joe Cole with that back injury leaving early on Saturday, and Akira Fitzgerald, the keeper.
Early chance and an early goal. What a start for St. Louis.
Well, that is a perfect start for St. Louis FC. The Rowdies have been coming out recently quite slow. They have at home, and they've, the last two games they've scored early, but on the road, this has been their Achilles heel, conceding early goals. And what a perfect start for Daniel Jackson here as he picks up that long ball, gets in and around Damian Lowe, no problem whatsoever, and slots it past Matt Pickens for his second goal of the season.
Well, it was the speed of Daniel Jackson that Preki praised early last week. Says we need more of him. That is a tremendous start here in the second minute. Able to squirt free and score for St. Louis.
Just a perfect start for Preki and his side, trying to put down one of the teams that has been on one heck of a run in the USL, and that's the way you start it. The Rowdies only with one win on the road, 4 losses and 5 draws. Only 8 points of their 37 have come on the road this year.
Yeah, that one win coming at Toronto back on May 19th. Lee, you've had a chance to watch this Tampa Bay team throughout the year. What type of challenge does St. Louis have tonight? Now, of course, that's a tremendous start, but here we still have a lot of soccer to play, of course. What's going to be the biggest challenges against this Tampa Bay team?
I think it's in their attack and how they've switched things up on this recent streak. Alex Morel, I'm a little bit surprised he's not starting, but Restrepo has scored a goal, his first one for the Rowdies last weekend. That is where that three-pronged attack has really helped out. Martin Patterson and having Georgi Ristoff on the field, 2 out-and-out strikers on the field, and moving Schaefer from the left back position and having him more of an attacking midfield position has really been a big setup man. He's had a ton of assists recently, named to USL Team of the Week. So his experience in Germany is one you have to watch for as he will make those overlapping runs on the left-hand side.
St. Louis FC possessing great tempo here to start. Rudolph able to get inside the 18 and now getting a little physical on the field as the attack of St. Louis has kind of startled Tampa Bay here in the opening minutes.
Yeah, it has. They have to be ready for this. You have to know that you have to be able to weather the storm of the home teams. They're going to come out strong and hard, and obviously they've caught the Rowdies not quite ready for this start for sure. So there you see Daniel Jackson getting back up there, and he appears to be all right. There's another look at this as he takes a knock in the back as Damian Lowe comes in from behind. Of course, Damian Lowe coming back from a very successful trip with Jamaica to the Gold Cup, where they got to the final. What a close game that was, losing to the United States as the U.S. got that late goal for the win.
Well, in case you are just tuning in, Drew Felios, Lee Gottfried here, Toyota Stadium. Already, lightning has struck. Daniel Jackson for St. Louis gets on the board in the opening minutes. And now here's Stoikov. Stoikov gets it inside. Another shot and another goal. Seth Rudolph rings one up, and it's 2-0. Unbelievable.
That is incredible from St. Louis FC. They are just ripping apart the Rowdies right now. It looks like they're standing still. They're going around them easily, finding open players. It's incredible. What a perfect start here. Matt Pickens is having a team meeting right now because this is terrible for the Rowdies.
Here's a replay of the St. Louis FC goal delivered by Dominoes.
They are just falling back, giving St. Louis all the space in the world. And if you give players like Seth Rudolph, like Daniel Jackson, that time and space, they are going to put it away every time.
So Daniel Jackson and Seth Rudolph, we have not seen a start like this in any game all year for a team in the position of St. Louis to go after a team doing as well as Tampa Bay, unbeaten in their last 5 matches. This is really amazing.
This is an absolute shocker right now for Rowdies fans watching this one tonight, that the team could come out like this, but give St. Louis all the credit in the world. It's well deserved. They've come out guns a-blazing. They are on the front foot. They're on attack, and they're not stopping yet.
Stoichkov sends it over right side now. It's Rudolph. The service in. And the ball goes just over the head of Apia. St. Louis still able to possess. Rowdies right now on their heels defensively.
Again, winning the ball. St. Louis FC, that was not cleared, and the Rowdies are just standing still, flat-footed. And this is giving St. Louis all the opportunities here early, and we're only in the 7th minute of play.
Well, St. Louis just 3 points away from contending for a playoff berth. Questioned was the heart of several of the St. Louis players earlier this week by Preki, their head coach. And you can sense here in the opening minutes how these players have accepted the challenge here tonight. You can just sense the urgency. Stoichkov now, once again, for St. Louis FC. Ledbetter sends it back, and now they'll reset. Tremendous energy in the stadium in the opening minutes as the home crowd has obviously gotten into it. There's Ivan Mirkovic, the team captain, and what a season he has had. Broke his leg back at the beginning of April. Was a leader for Preki back in the Sacramento days, and now counted on big time throughout the rest of the year for this St. Louis club.
And this is a big opportunity moving forward for the members of St. Louis FC. With the 6 changes in that starting 11, Preki needs to find the group that works well together and knows that are going to go out and attack and play for him. And right now in the opening moments of this is the way I would start every game if this is the result you're going to get inside 10 minutes of play.
Ball this time off of Stoichkov.
That'll be back. That's a Rowdies throw. St. Louis, pardon me, it's not. It definitely did go off a member of St. Louis there. I think Preki was looking for a foul and get a free kick, but instead they still give St. Louis FC the throw-in.
The style of St. Louis, maintain possession, keep the ball on the ground, connect and simply play. That's the style that Preki has been trying to stress, and he's had some stressful moments so far this season with this club. Waiting for things to come together, and hopefully for St. Louis tonight is that night.
Yeah, that's all you need, is to put together. You build in moments. You have a good half. You have a good 90, so you have a good game, and then you take that and go on to the next one and hope that you can replicate that. You build it in small areas and to go forward. And if they can continue playing the way they've started tonight, to be a great result, have a chance to leapfrog Harrisburg City Islanders and get really close to playoff contention.
See the artificial surface tonight here at Toyota Stadium. Something the Rowdies don't play on every single day. How big a factor is that, Lee?
I think you see by the start, it's a pretty big factor. You're dealing with how that ball bounces. It doesn't play nearly the same, but St. Louis will be very used to be playing on this surface and how that ball is going to move. And right now, Rowdies players are sitting back. They're being a little bit too cautious. I think they've got to close down St. Louis a little bit faster. Don't give them that time on the ball to set this play up, because this ball will slow up. You see that bounce, and that allows players to be able to close in a little faster than you would on a natural grass surface.
Mirkovic collecting for St. Louis. Rowdies have not had a productive possession yet, and we are 10 minutes into this contest. Now here they come. Schaefer will take the shot and score. Tampa Bay, just like that, is on the board.
Wow, this is end-to-end unbelievable. The first shot on goal for the Rowdies. And Marcel Schaefer once again from distance. I thought Adam Grinwis could have got over to this one. He saw the channel, he takes the shot, and Grinwis was right there. There must have been a little bit more movement on this ball than he thought, because he did get just a tiny piece of it, but not enough. And wow, 3 goals, just over 10 minutes of play here tonight. Incredible.
Our goalies tonight under siege so far. Schaefer with a big one for Tampa Bay.
And that's Schaefer has been doing it with the assists so far this season. He has, let's just count him up, 6 so far, and that is his 3rd goal of the season. He had a rocket in Cincinnati earlier in the year and made ESPN's top 10, and that was a pretty one as well. He'll take that one to cut the deficit in half and really get right back into this game.
And Schaefer has been the guy who has been creating during this Rowdies run. So interesting to see him finish on that try. And here he is again as the Rowdies backline finally cuts off an opportunity from St. Louis.
That was much better by Kyle Porter, stepping up and taking away that lane from Emmanuel Apia. You can't let them have the 2 yards of space to be able to get that shot away.
Ball lost. Tyler David. St. Louis FC continues to work deep. Rudolph will send one in the danger zone. Immediately cleared.
Now there was a couple of players opening green in the box there. That was very close. A beautiful ball sent in by Seth Rudolph from that right-hand side.
St. Louis FC once again applying pressure. And collision. There's the ball, rolls out of bounds, and it'll be a goal kick coming up for Tampa Bay. Well, the USL, one of the most prominent second division pro leagues in the world, featuring some of the game's top talent and rising stars. Stay up to date, all the latest league news and info by going to uslsoccer.com and follow them on Twitter at USL. Furious action here in the first 15 minutes. 2 early goals for St. Louis FC, but Tampa Bay able to answer in the 10th minute with a Marcel Schaefer goal of their own.
Yeah, what a wild start to this one. I'm sure that's not the last goal we're going to see in this match. There's just been so much space when the Rowdies did get the ball. They've only really had it only half once into St. Louis's area, and were able to create some space and create that opportunity. And at the other end of the pitch, you know, for the first 7 minutes, it was tilted in the direction of St. Louis FC, and the Rowdies giving them all the space in the world. Need to make some adjustments there and not be allowed them to build up like they are. They're using the flanks perfectly right now and having all the time on the ball.
Lots of lanes wide open. Now here's Rudolph. Got off that time. St. Louis has not won yet in the month of August. Wins over Charleston and Richmond in the month of July.
Now there you look at Martin Patterson, our player to watch in the beginning. Not sure what the call was there, asking the referee. 6 goals on the season. That's 6 goals in 7 games, I believe. And he's been on quite a tear. You don't want to give him time on the ball.
Ball delivered a little behind. Ledbetter chases it down. And it rolls out of bounds. Staying with St. Louis. So we'll have a throw in down near the corner. Austin Ledbetter, drafted by FC Dallas earlier this year. Born and raised in St. Louis. He is right at home. And now Tampa Bay trying to mount another attack.
Michael Manchoff looking for the foul there, to pull the back of the arm, and the referee allowed the throw in for FC St. Louis, saying there was no foul there on the play.
Mirkovic, team captain. As the Rowdies starting to get on track defensively. Here's Hristov now, the Bulgarian. Those 6 goals, tied for the team lead. Here's a service in, and a good opportunity. The shot taken, the rebound taken, and another goal as Hristov stayed with it, and we are equalized at 2.
Now, this is absolutely incredible. 4 goals inside 20 minutes, and only the second opportunity for the Rowdies. Marcel Schaefer coming in along that left-hand side. And Grinwis made the initial save, but not able to hold on to the rebound. And it's poorly cleared. And Georgi Hristov stays with it, and he's able to smack that one home. So there you have it, a goal and an assist so far for Marcel Schaefer. And geez, after that dream start for St. Louis FC in the 16th minute, we're tied 2-2. Here's another look at it. That ball whipped in and poorly cleared, and it goes right to Georgi Hristov, and it was Tony Walls that saves it off the line there, but gives it right back to Georgi. And he's able to pump that one in, so we are all tied at 2 goals apiece. Hristov's 7th of the season.
So St. Louis FC came out with all guns a-blazing, so emotional at the start. But Tampa Bay has settled in, and you can kind of sense the wind taken out of the sails of some of the fans in this stadium. They cannot believe what they have seen. 4 goals, and we haven't even played 20 minutes. Here comes St. Louis. Once again, Daniel Jackson scored that first goal. Tampa Bay very aware of him right now. Manchoff able to get it back. And now a good one-on-one battle. Restrepo goes down, getting his first start tonight for Tampa Bay.
Yeah, he scored in the last game, and this is what St. Louis FC have to be very aware of, Drew, is the last 2 goals have come up because of the defense of the Rowdies stepping up, and then they go on the counterattack. That's how both of their goals have come up, and they have not been able to get enough players back and defend it well, and that is what the Rowdies are looking for on the road, is getting going on the counterattack. And there you see the battle there between Ryan Howe and Restrepo, and the free kick awarded to the Tampa Bay Rowdies.
Restrepo signed by the Rowdies back on July 20th. He's made a big impact, hasn't he, off the bench for Tampa Bay tonight in the starting lineup. Tampa Bay trying to threaten once again. This one does get in deep, but St. Louis has the Rowdies marked very tightly. And now St. Louis FC a chance to counter. Seth Rudolph. A little bit of time and space to work with. Here's the shot, and this one sails above the goal. Mirkovic trying to tee it up.
Mirkovic getting underneath that one. Again, the Rowdies allowing some time and space, and allowing that pass along the top of the box there to come through. Matt Pickens will be letting his back line know, guys, you need to step up and eliminate that space, or there could be more goals coming in the direction his way, and he doesn't want to allow that. This is the first time in 3 games he's conceded a goal.
St. Louis FC quickly attacking, as they have so far in this match. Rudolph can't save it from going out of bounds. Well, soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, go to NikeSoccer.com. NikeSoccer.com, Nike the official sponsor of the USL. Damian Lowe, the Jamaican. Justin Chavez also getting a touch.
Good pressure here by St. Louis FC, really closing down, doing a good job defending off the ball, forcing the Rowdies to be smart with how they distribute the ball left and right, and they've been able to come away with it and get the ball up the pitch. But still, solid work on both sides of the ball from St. Louis FC.
Ristoff tried to cross it. Tough pass that time. St. Louis FC able to regain possession. There's Apia, former University of Cincinnati star. Played 20 minutes here in the great Midwest. All tied at 2, St. Louis and Tampa Bay. It has been a wild one so far as Restrepo tied up. That's a fun battle to watch with Ryan Howell so far.
Well, there you see Preki. He's a very animated coach on the sidelines. He's trying to make sure everybody knows exactly where to be. He was a very good player in his own right in his day. And that's where he can get that respect of the player, because Preki's been there, done that, scored some massive goals in his career.
I thought Leah's comments were really interesting earlier this week when he said, okay, we lost to Tulsa 2-1 last night. He said this on Friday. He said Tampa Bay is about 3 times as good as Tulsa is. So how are we going to respond to that challenge? Because no matter how much you game plan, it's about going out there and wanting it. Your players have got to want it. And right now, there are times when our guys don't want it. You can tell, I think, his players took that to heart.
Yeah, it's a good way to, that reverse psychology to be able to throw it in your own team's, face, so to say. And, hey, how are you going to react to that when you say that about the other team? That's always a talking point that coaches can use, is the talent level of the Tampa Bay Rowdies, and that we have to respect it and be aware of it. And it's almost a ploy, on paper, certainly it is, but when the game gets played, both teams out there, we've seen some interesting results, all season long, even this weekend as well, with the Charlotte Independence being beat, and that opens up things for this match tonight. So there's the St. Louis FC trying to get back into that top 8, and the Rowdies looking to tie for the top spot in the league.
Charlotte, of course, handled last night by Ottawa. So definitely an opportunity for Tampa Bay tonight, but similar opportunity for St. Louis as well. So far, they have answered the challenge, but we're tied at 2. Still plenty of soccer to play, and that's a tremendous takeaway by Tampa Bay.
Yeah, good job there. Georgi Ristoff coming back, and now he's moving forward, but good to see those forwards come back on any team that you play for, that they're going to come back and help out defensively as well.
St. Louis has controlled possession so far in this game. Here's Konrad Pleva, back from suspension. They are thrilled to have him back. Stoikov trying to get the cross in. Very physical right now in the box as Tampa Bay has really shored things up. Pleva went airborne that time. Preki wanted a goal, as he always does. Now try the long ball. Speed of Jackson trying to chase it down. And can't do it, as the ball will roll out of bounds. To be a goal kick for Matt Pickens.
That's an interesting story that Daniel Jackson has come over full time, and Jose Angulo went to Oklahoma Energy FC. And you wonder if that whole thing, going on loan in order to get Daniel Jackson permanently, is that a gamble that's paying off for St. Louis FC? It's a, it's a very close one. Daniel Jackson now with 2 goals and an assist, and Jose Angulo has 3 goals with Oklahoma Energy FC in 4 appearances, 7 on the season. So very interesting to see, how this one, develops as the rest of the season goes on, to see how Daniel Jackson does and how Jose Angulo does in Oklahoma.
Well, let's take a look at that possession. 62% right now, the advantage for St. Louis. And you said it, Lee, especially for a first-year head coach, in order to win, you've got to get the right ingredients, the type of players who can execute the style of play you want to play best.
And certainly injuries and everything like that come into play to be able to get that consistency in your starting 11. Nice challenging tackle and takeaway there by the Canadian Kyle Porter.
All tied at 2, 25th minute. And another player goes down again, and let's see if a yellow card is coming out, and it certainly does.
Yeah, and that's Damian Lowe, so he's going to miss the next game for the Tampa Bay Rowdies. That was his 8th yellow in that accumulation, so he will be suspended for the game next weekend at Al Lang Stadium against the Ottawa Fury. Now, with that said, the Rowdies have Tamika Makanda-Weary that can come right into that position as he did when Damian Lowe was gone for the CONCACAF Gold Cup.
So critical moment right there for the Rowdies. Damian Lowe will not be available for the next contest in that Ottawa match. Here's a set piece, and that was very close. Ball delivered perfectly. Tony Walls was airborne, just couldn't get the right angle.
Yeah, Walls coming in from the back, and a nice delivery into that back post. And just didn't have quite enough space to be able to direct that back towards Matt Pickens.
Well, be sure to visit one of the 7 local St. Louis area Toyota dealers. Toyota, the main sponsors for St. Louis FC. Rowdies send it back to Pickens, and he will clear it. 2 goals to start this match, one by Seth Rudolph, and the other by Daniel Jackson. Jackson scored first. Tampa Bay responds with Schaefer and Ristoff just a few minutes later, and that's where we're at right now.
Things seem to have settled down just a little bit, haven't they? In what was just an incredible start here. You see that? I've never seen that before in my 3 years of working in the United States, so whether it's the NASL or the USL now, and wow, incredible.
Able to slip free and a pull down. That will certainly be a whistle, as Ristoff was beaten that time, and a yellow comes out for Georgi Ristoff.
Yeah, Ristoff coming back there, and he was plainly beaten. In his mind, had no option but to pull down. And number 6, Austin Ledbetter on St. Louis FC, and this is the ones you don't want to give up. This is a dangerous position, a great scoring opportunity off a set piece here as Emmanuel Apia is behind the ball there. The 2-man wall set up for the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Look for this right foot outswinger. And probably try to find the back post and players coming in towards that 6-yard box. I'm not sure. There's a tough angle to try to get something on goal. So look for players coming in for St. Louis into the top of the box there. Right around the penalty spot area, you're going to see them coming in towards Matt Pickens. Try to get this lead back to 3-2.
Pickens is set. Here it comes, and the ball just not delivered where it needed to be. And speaking of Matt Pickens, the Rowdies goalie, have to mention tonight sort of a homecoming. He is a native. He grew up in Washington, Missouri. That's about an hour drive from where we are, right here in Fenton, Missouri. So you know it's an emotional night for him.
Yeah, I'm sure he's got family and friends at this game as well. Last Saturday was his 100th appearance for the Tampa Bay Rowdies, and he celebrated that with a 3-0 win and a clean sheet. And he actually got up into the stands of the supporters group for the Rowdies, Ralph's Mob, and was up dancing with him after the game. Just showed how passionate Matt Pickens still is about this game after achieving a lot in Major League Soccer as well, an MLS Cup with the Colorado Rapids.
You know, imagine what is going through his mind tonight. 3 straight clean sheets, Lee, and then the first 10 minutes you can see twice. Soccer is such an emotional game, so many swings,
yeah,
right?
And psychologically, to be able to rebound from that, the entire team, it's going to be interesting to see how the rest of this one unfolds, because right now, you know, off the top of the game, the defense on both sides is pretty much non-existent.
Whistle, and Tampa Bay will have it. Well, fans, stay up to date with the latest USL news and info from around the league, coast to coast with Mike Watts, Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM FC channel 85. Also, don't forget, Sirius airs the USL Game of the Week. Check uslsoccer.com for dates and times.
Still waiting for my invite from Mike Watts for that show. I don't know if it's, I'm going to have to write down quite a few different phrases and sayings and have just an excellent call on a replay to be able to have the opportunity to get on that show.
Mike Watts, busy guy for sure. Nainchoff. And now the Rowdies. Able to keep possession. St. Louis FC continues the pressure, though. They have done a great job on the ball, applying pressure all night long.
And Nainchoff trying to go down there and get a call. The referee having none of it. And St. Louis FC able to go the other way, and that forces Kyle Porter to come in and foul and give St. Louis FC the free kick.
Stoikov, Macedonian, former member of LA Galaxy 2. Here's Ledbetter. Ledbetter's had a key role so far in this game for St. Louis FC. Apia sends it back, and now they play out of the center circle. Ledbetter now gets physical. Jackson making it happen for St. Louis. Trying to get the angle, just couldn't get the shot off, but he really fought for that opportunity.
Boy, he went around everyone there, and no Rowdy wanted to take that chance to try to foul him in the box and have a penalty for St. Louis FC. And unfortunate that for St. Louis that just couldn't develop into something that is on goal, on target, but very fortunate there for the Tampa Bay Rowdies. A good run into the box there.
That's amazing too. Got the speed of Jackson. Not only exciting to watch, but he creates a lot of space for other guys, doesn't he?
He certainly does. One thing, you see Georgi Ristov playing up there right now, but a lot of this time he's been playing very deep for the Rowdies, almost as a defensive midfielder, and now he's getting up the pitch.
Schaefer, here's the service in, allows an opportunity and a deflection just outside the 6. The Rowdies had an angle dead on.
Oh, they did. That would have been 3-2 Rowdies if that shot was not deflected, as Adam Grinwis was going the wrong way. So some sloppy defense inside the box for St. Louis once again. It caused the second goal of the game for the Tampa Bay Rowdies, and almost the third there on individual mistakes on a clearance.
33 minutes in. Hope you're enjoying it. We certainly are. Drew Felios, Lee Godfrey, Tampa Bay, and St. Louis. Exciting soccer coming to you tonight. Apia able to take that one away, but Tampa Bay will get it back. Schaefer. Now it's Ristov. Schaefer once more. Can he get a service in? And a corner kick coming up.
Schaefer's mad at himself. It was a beautiful 1-2 there with Georgi Ristov, with Marcel Schaefer making that great overlapping run, and his first touch just let him down a little bit. He wanted to be able to hit that across the face of the goal a little earlier, but he still earns the corner kick.
Now it's time for the Electro Savings corner kick for Tampa Bay.
Michael Nainchoff on it with a left-footed outswinger. Not much doing there. Neil Collins kind of chested it back, hoping to get it to another member of the Rowdies in at the 18, but they were well back trying to defend the counterattack, and that's exactly what happened as Kyle Porter made sure that he could break that play up moving forward as St. Louis FC get that throw in.
Watching this match so far, Lee, who do you think wants to play faster, St. Louis or Tampa Bay? Because it seemed like opening minutes, St. Louis was at a rapid pace.
And I think they still are, and I think they want to be. I don't think it's in the dynamic of the Rowdies to play that type of tempo of a game. they're more patient. They're in the build-up, and they are very patient. At home, they try to move players from left to right and wait for that great scoring opportunity. Here, this has been a little bit different.
Apia takes the shot right into the hands of Pickens.
Now the Rowdies seem to be sitting back a little bit because they haven't been able to possess the ball. What they've been able to do is get their chances on good defending and going down on the counterattack and being successful in that way. And that's what a lot of teams do on the road. You expect that, to sit back a little bit, defend, have men behind the ball, and try to get something going on the counterattack.
Now out of the center circle, Justin Chavez, midfielder for Tampa Bay. Kyle Porter, part of that great Tampa Bay defense. What a header! Unbelievable! A picture-perfect play, and the Rowdies are leaders for the first time. Patterson with the header. Martin Patterson. His 7th USL goal, and it was a huge one.
It was a huge one, and it was a beautiful delivery into the box by Kyle Porter, as Patterson scored almost the identical goal last week from the opposite side as he came diving into the box. But look at this ball, the right foot into the box by Kyle Porter, and Martin Patterson comes diving in with that header, and Adam Grinwis can only get a hand on that one. It's just too powerful.
And I believe a yellow card was issued, but Martin Patterson with a goal to make it a 3-2 game for the first time tonight. Tampa Bay has led, and the yellow card just issued, I believe, for punching the flag after the goal.
I think that's ridiculous. You know, it's reminds me of you know, the NFL and all the penalties, and they said it's a no fun league, and you know what? Yeah. To me, you know, you celebrate a goal. Maybe he did go a little bit too far. I know they give the yellows for taking off your jersey and whipping it around for sure. Players know that. You know, that's tough for Peterson, who's just given the team a lead. 3 unanswered goals by the Tampa Bay Rowdies, and we're in the 37th minute of play.
You've seen a lot of goals this year and throughout the past 3 years, but where does that one rank? That was about as good as it gets.
In the build-up and the setup, and I think that's where, you know, you bring in a player like Patterson that has that pedigree to be able to finish, and that's what the Rowdies have been missing in the past. They've been creating the opportunities, getting the ball to the top of the box, but they haven't been able to finish, as a yellow card is shown here on that challenge on Georgi Hristov. That's what's been missing, the finish, and Patterson now has proven that now he's starting in that middle position up top that used to be Georgi Hristov's. That with the 7 goals in 9 starts, he's off and running.
I believe it's going to be Mirkovic issue the yellow. Rather, it's Ledbetter, Austin Ledbetter.
Yeah, both sides have to be careful tonight that the yellows are coming out a little bit fast than normal. Normally, you know, a player will get a talking to the first time and say, that is it. That doesn't seem to be the case tonight.
Nanchoff sends it a little long. Grinwis able to gather for St. Louis FC. 2 early goals by St. Louis and 3 and the answer for Tampa Bay. That's where we stand right now.
And the flag goes up on that play, and certainly when any team can go on the road and put up 3 goals, you would think that should be enough for a win, but I certainly think St. Louis isn't going to back down yet at home, and there's still going to be a lot to play for in the second half. The only loss that the Tampa Bay Rowdies had at home this season was by the same margin. The Charleston Battery came into town and defeated the Rowdies by a score of 3-2, so we haven't even played a half of soccer yet and had 5 goals. Incredible.
St. Louis would like nothing more than to be heard from once again before intermission. As Tyler David able to get behind the defense. Ball lost, though, a little sloppy on possession that time, and Tampa Bay gets it back, at least for the moment. And a quick whistle as Restrepo pleading his case.
That's the right call. Restrepo with a push in the back, even though he had the ball. And you don't want to be giving away those free kicks. That there's no need to give up a free kick at this point in the field and at this point in the game. You don't want to concede. St. Louis FC would love to be able to get a late one here and be able to go into the locker room at 3-3.
Appia has been active for St. Louis. Rowdies were a mess on defense in the first 10 minutes, but they have since gotten very organized. And St. Louis has not had many quality chances over the last 30 minutes. Here's Appia. There's players in a line right across the top of the 18. Appia sends one in. Ball was loose for a moment there. Now sent back out, Ryan Howe. Tampa Bay, another opportunity coming up. Good pass by Ristov. Cut off though. And how about that play by Dragan Stoikov?
Yeah, good defending there. But unfortunately, Georgi Ristov didn't get that ball ahead of Martin Peterson. He was going full speed ahead and he had to stop and slow down, and that gave St. Louis the opportunity to break that play up because that could have been dangerous.
Well, that counter was so quick. It's almost, at times, this looks like indoor soccer, doesn't it, tonight?
Yeah, you would think that they're playing on a much smaller pitch the way both of these teams are going on the attack. It's a game that I don't think these defenders right now on both sides are liking very much.
Well, Rowdies have fresh legs. Their last match, Saturday, August 5th. That was last Saturday night, 3-0 win over Harrisburg City. Coming up on intermission and a one-goal game here in Fenton. Schaefer. He and Tampa Bay have been able to slow things down here. As Pickens gets a touch one more time. Now battle in the center circle. Tampa Bay starting to win those one-on-ones. Ristov sent it down. Patterson nearly shook free. But the help defensively came just in time. And now player down on the turf for Tampa Bay.
Yeah, once again, it's Georgi Ristov. He's taken a couple of knocks out there tonight. But he's also helped on the offensive side as well with a goal. So 3 different goal scorers for the Rowdies in this first half. In Marcel Schaefer, Georgi Ristov, and Martin Patterson. Restrepo's having a tough time over there. He's not getting many of the calls going his way. He's getting a little bit frustrated with the referee, Gustavo Solario, tonight. He's got to keep his cool. You're on the road. You don't want to get a yellow card, especially just for dissent.
Only Restrepo's 4th game suiting up for Tampa Bay. And now St. Louis goes back to their possession game. Crowd was electric in the first 10 minutes. They have been quiet as of late because, again, the buildup just is not there right now for St. Louis.
Well, you have to be a little bit shell-shocked as a team as well. How do you react from that when you have that dream start going up 2-0 and then you concede 3 straight? You never in your mind probably would have thought that you'd be going to the break at the half down a goal after that start. I think the Rowdies have settled into this a little bit more, played a little better defensively. They are, doing better in the midfield at the half, closing down St. Louis FC, not allowing them to have those opportunities that they did in the first 5-6 minutes of this match.
Free kick now for Tampa Bay. Schaefer on top of it. We are nearing stoppage time here in Fenton, Missouri. And stoppage time is brought to you by Hot Shots. Be sure to visit one of the 12 local Hot Shots locations after the match. Stoppage time brought to you by Hot Shots. And 2 minutes served up. What is the biggest surprise so far in this match, Lee? We've seen so many swings of momentum, but any particular thing that has really taken you by surprise watching this match?
Well, I think it's a start for St. Louis. I don't think anybody would have thought on whoever you support, whether you're St. Louis, you would love for them to have that, but you know, you just don't expect it. It's a little bit shocking on both sides. So, you know, to see 4 goals in the first 16 minutes of play, I don't think anybody saw that coming. That's a full 90-minute score that you've had in the first 20 minutes. And then, you know, on the Rowdy side of the ball, to have that perseverance to not, you know, stop in this game. And, you know, even though it is early, you know, 2-0 is tough when you get shocked that quickly in a match, to be able to come back and make the most of their opportunities. I think that a couple of mistakes by St. Louis FC, individual mistakes, that's what really have haunted them in the first half, because I think overall, you know, they haven't conceded many shots, but the shots that they've allowed have been quality ones by the Rowdies, quality opportunities.
Here's Patterson now going for the service, and 2 players get tied up on that far side, and it is getting really physical on the field right now.
Well, interesting to see if there'll be any call here. Is Martin Patterson again involved in the play?
And Lee, I think you're right. It's one thing to give out cards early. It's another thing to get control of the match and talk to players. I don't think the dialogue, or the right type of dialogue between official and player, is taking place on the field right now.
No, and that makes it very difficult for the players to understand how he's calling the game and what they can and cannot get away with. And in this one, because this is getting physical, it is, when you see all these goals being scored, tempers are going to flare. There you see Patterson going in and up and over top of Ryan Howe and ending up falling on top of him. And I think both parties think that the other person is guilty.
Now time for the Electro Savings corner kick for Tampa Bay. So Tampa Bay with a final opportunity here before the end of the first half. They'll send this one out. Let's see if they can get a good shot on goal. Kyle Porter sends it back out. And now service in. And St. Louis able to avert danger. Do they have time for a quick counter?
And that's going to be a foul on Daniel Jackson for putting the shoulder on Zach Portillos and trying to get a little bit of an advantage there to try to go in.
Well, an unbelievable first half we have seen. Tampa Bay will go to the locker room with a 3-2 edge. Swings of emotion, tremendous goals on both sides. And without a doubt, you get a sense of what is on the line here tonight. A 3-2 lead for the visitors. Rowdies 3, St. Louis FC 2. We're back with much more in halftime festivities coming up.
You guys are ready? Oh, you guys are ready?
Ticket, please.
Of course, I got it right here.
There's nothing there.
It's loading. It takes a little bit. Just give me like a minute, guys.
Here's my ticket. It's starting. Mine works.
Bob realized his network coverage was a no-show. That's why he switched to Metro PCS, because he figured out he gets a network that's more reliable than ever, covering 99% of people in the U.S. Switch now and get 2 lines for only $50 period, plus 2 free Samsung Galaxy phones. Metro PCS, wireless figured out.
Welcome to Toyota's National Clearance Event.
We love adventure and we want something safe.
RAV4 comes with Toyota Safety Sense Standard.
Just imagine the things we'll see.
Here we go. Oh, look at the zebras.
Oh, look at those 2 rhinos. Oh.
Are they?
Maybe the beach.
Love the beach.
Right now, you can lease a new 2017 RAV4 for $199 per month, or get $2,000 customer cash on a new RAV4.
Enjoy the sights.
Toyota, let's go places.
The best things in life are free, but you can give them to the birds and bees. I need
There's really only one place where the carpets are always red and the stars are everywhere you look. There's no place like Hollywood. Hollywood Casino, St. Louis.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it.
You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. Got it. Nope.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early.
You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Well, it was a wild first half of action. Tampa Bay with a 3-2 lead over St. Louis. Our halftime is brought to you by Hollywood Casino. Hollywood Casino, excited to be the newest pub-to-park location for upcoming St. Louis FC home games. For more information, go to stlouisfc.com. And now, here's a word from our friends at Hollywood Casino.
Hi, I'm Ashley Anton, here with Ryan Howe, one of your favorite STL FC players. Ryan, are you ready for some questions?
I'm ready.
Okay, tell me, if you could pick one vacation spot that you've been to or you've always wanted to go, where would it be?
I would say my bucket vacation would be somewhere in Italy, because I'm Italian and haven't been there yet, so that's probably my bucket vacation list.
And what would you do there? Make a little pasta, a little pizza?
Definitely visit some of the pizza places and pasta places and then just, you know, travel around a little bit.
Okay, good. What is your biggest pet peeve? Tell our viewers what really just irks you.
So my biggest pet peeve when I'm driving is when someone's in the very left lane on the highway. And they're
The fast lane.
The fast lane. And they're just oblivious to everyone else, not really going too fast. So that might be my biggest pet peeve.
Okay, are you ever in that fast lane driving fast or no?
Not too often. Not too often. I like to obey the speed limit.
A safe driver. I'm actually in the left lane, so you probably won't want to drive with me. Okay, tell me, in 10 years, where do you see yourself? What are you doing? Where are you living? Where are you?
That's a good question. You know, I've kind of thought about that a little bit, and I don't know, maybe I'm still playing soccer. Maybe I've moved on, you know, into a different career, maybe in accounting or somewhere else. So I just kind of see how it goes and where it takes me.
Tell me, being on the soccer team, you know, where are you from, and what has it been like being here in St. Louis for you?
So I'm from Rockford, Illinois, and then went to school in Chicago. So I'm from a big city, and so coming to St. Louis is not nearly as big of a city as Chicago, but it's still a nice city, you know, very spread out, so it's a little different, but yeah, I like it a lot.
Good stuff. Where can we find you here in St. Louis? Like if we were out and about, where would you be?
Oh, I hang out at the apartments a lot, so Southfield, Oakville area, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at most of my days.
Okay, relaxing, hanging out, watching some Suits.
Playing cards, playing Monopoly. We're on Monopoly kick right now over there, so that's what we're doing.
What kind of card games?
We play some Uno, and then we play some games that we've made up. It's called 22, and that's about it.
And who's the winner? Usually.
It's usually, you know, pretty even between me, myself, Conrad, Tavo, but for sure, Matt Sheldon is the loser.
Matt Sheldon, you're a loser? Is this true?
It's very true. It's very true.
Okay. Well, maybe next time. Maybe he's having like a bad streak.
He might be on a little bad mojo streak. We don't know though.
Okay. Have you tried to help him at all or no?
No helping. No helping.
We're competitive here.
He's got to figure it out on his own.
Okay. Good stuff. Well, thank you so much for letting our fans get to know more about who you are.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I'm Ashley Anton.
All right, thank you so much. 3-2. Score at the half. Tampa Bay with the lead over St. Louis. Halftime brought to you by Hollywood Casino. Lots going on within the league and a huge week for the USL as far as expansion is concerned. You'll get the full story on that coming up in just a moment.
I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Every year, 40% of all food in the U.S. never gets eaten.
40%. That's almost half the food we produce.
Food waste is a serious problem. It impacts all of us.
And it's expensive. Your family is throwing $1,500 a year in the trash.
We're working hard to put food waste on the chopping block.
And you can do the same at home.
Learn how to cook it, store it, and share it.
Just don't waste it.
Go to savethefood.com.
The USL has expanded its soccer reach this week, announcing 2 new expansion franchises. Birmingham, Alabama has been announced as the first expansion franchise to join the league in 2019.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct pleasure on behalf of the USL to welcome Birmingham into the USL for the 2019 season.
Currently known as USL Birmingham, the franchise will announce their official name, crest, and venue at a later date. The team is set to build on the strong foundation of support built by local fans.
You know, Magic City Brigade, you guys have been amazing for us. We can't say thank you enough for your unwavering support. Without fans, we're not standing here. And so thank you guys. I really do appreciate that.
More information and advanced ticket sales can be found at uslbirmingham.com. Las Vegas will be the third and final club to join the league for the 2018 season.
This is our team collectively that we are going to make into the best professional soccer team that we can. And I can't be more proud to be part of all of you and to bring professional soccer to Las Vegas.
The club will call Cashman Field in downtown Las Vegas home, and the name is up to the fans. Visit vegasprosoccer.com through Monday, August 28th to cast your vote. Las Vegas will join the league in 2018, and Birmingham, Alabama will begin play in the 2019 season. For USL Network, I'm Morgan Conklin.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Hey? God, no.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early.
You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing.
I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels.
After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak.
Meals on Wheels, coming to my door as someone who's housebound, having someone check on me, assures me that I'm not forgotten.
Meals on Wheels has given me a mode of freedom that I wouldn't have otherwise.
We're the clients.
We are the clients.
We are the clients of Meals on Wheels.
America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Great game going on here in the Midwest as Tampa Bay leads St. Louis FC. And we want to invite you to tune in to our USL Game of the Week coming up Wednesday, August 16th, 7 p.m. The Charlotte Independents battle the Bethlehem Steel. Have much more Tampa Bay and St. Louis stats, highlights, all coming up in just a moment.
The best things in life are free, but you can give them to the birds and bees. I need
There's really only one place where the carpets are always red and the stars are everywhere you look. There's no place like Hollywood. Hollywood Casino St. Louis.
You guys are ready? Oh, you guys are ready! Ticket, please. Of course, I got it right here.
There's nothing there.
It's loading. It takes a little bit. Just give me like a minute, guys.
Here's what you get. It's starting. Mine works.
Bob realized his network coverage was a no-show. That's why he switched to Metro PCS, because he figured out he gets a network that's more reliable than ever, covering 99% of people in the U.S. Switch now and get 2 lines for only $50 period, plus 2 free Samsung Galaxy phones. Metro PCS, wireless figured out.
Welcome to Toyota's National Clearance Event.
We love adventure and we want something safe.
RAV4 comes with Toyota Safety Sense Standard.
Just imagine the things we'll see.
Here we go. Oh, look at the zebras.
Oh, look at those 2 rhinos. Oh.
Are they?
Oh. Maybe the beach.
Love the beach.
Right now, you can lease a new 2017 RAV4 for $199 per month, or get $2,000 customer cash on a new RAV4.
Enjoy the sights.
Toyota, let's go places.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh.
It only takes a moment to make a moment.
Cheers.
Take time to be a dad today.
Well, fans enjoying this match so far here in Fenton, Missouri at Toyota Stadium. 3-2 the score. Tampa Bay leading St. Louis FC. Our halftime brought to you by Hollywood Casino. And one of the wildest first halves, Lee, that we have seen all season long. Probably the most thrilling in terms of highs and lows. It got started early for St. Louis as Daniel Jackson was able to squirt through.
Yeah, long ball over the top in the first minute of play, and just like that, he gets around Damian Lowe. And he slots that past Matt Pickens for an early 1-0 lead. And they kept coming in the 5th minute of play. Some great 1-2 passing there as Seth Rudolph is able to make a diagonal run at the top of the 6-yard box. And he gets it past Matt Pickens. But the Tampa Bay Rowdies come right back. You give Marcel Schaefer a little bit of space, and he just bombed this one past Adam Grinwis, who gets a hand on it, but not quite enough for Marcel Schaefer's 3rd of the season. Schaefer in on this one. The assist here is Georgi Ristoff gets it not once but twice after it was cleared off the line. And he is able to put in his 7th of the season to tie this one only after 60 minutes at 2. And the Rowdies keep coming. There is a lot of pressure here as that one is a great deflection there by Stoichkov. And at the other end of the pitch, there's a couple of opportunities, but Matt Pickens is Johnny on the spot here, and here is the go-ahead goal. Great ball across by Kyle Porter, and once again, Martin Patterson, diving header, and he gets that one past Grinwis, and the Rowdies are able to take a 3-2 lead. Just an incredible first half. Gets the yellow for that one, but he'll take the goal and the lead.
So Tampa Bay able to weather the early storm from St. Louis. And with the lead at the half, let's size things up now. The numbers at intermission, what really stands out to you?
Well, you know, the fact that St. Louis came out so fast and you saw those 7 shots and the Rowdies actually came back and was able to get 5 after a tough start. A lot of pressure they had to absorb in the first 15 minutes of play. They dealt with it and came back, and now it's going to be what would Preki say to his team in that, you know, halftime in the locker room to get his team motivated to come back out again and start the second half like they did in the first half.
Upcoming matches for the Rowdies. Ottawa visits Al Lang Stadium in St. Pete. And then you got New York, Harrisburg City. They just got a victory over the Islanders last week. Bethlehem and Charlotte. That's definitely not an easy road.
No, it's not. Ottawa at home, they've always been difficult. And then you're 3 on the road. After defeating Harrisburg City last weekend 3-0, they'd like to go in and do that. And then a tough game against Charlotte Independence. In the live scoring right now, those two teams are, if it ends the way it is, on 40 points.
And for St. Louis, the upcoming matches, beginning with Pittsburgh, Tulsa also in there, Rochester, Toronto, and Ottawa. Ottawa right now buzzing after that big win that they had last night over Charlotte.
Yeah, Ottawa is a tough team to play at home, you know, but St. Louis will take it. It's on the turf. They're used to playing it on the turf. They're going to want some revenge against Tulsa as well, hosting them.
Take a look at some of the notable games we have a week from now. Next weekend, Swope Park and Real, Orange County and Phoenix. It's amazing to see what Drogba continues to do for Phoenix. Some of those goals are just silly.
And those are the two teams trying to get in the 9th and 10th spot, trying to get back up into the playoff position. Then you have two of the top teams. So both of those games have really big implications.
Well, what an atmosphere we've had here tonight. Fans have really soaked in the atmosphere and the competition on the field. These players playing like it is playoff time. Ristoff for Tampa Bay, a solid performance. And as you take a look at Preki on the bench for St. Louis. Over the last few days, Preki, as we stated before, kind of questioning the fight of his team. His patience has been tested. He said, though, there are no quitters on this team. So while he was critical of his team at some points, he also said, I still believe we have got the players and the ingredients to make a run here as the season comes down the stretch and approaches the postseason. So St. Louis will now move from right to left.
Well, you know that Stuart Campbell on the other side of the pitch, too, is going to be saying, you guys cannot come out and start this second half like you did the first half. That has to be much better. You reacted very well, being able to get back into the game, take the lead, but the start of the second half has to be better to continue this one out the way that they were playing the end of the first 45 minutes of play.
Keep in mind, these two teams have only met one time in their histories. That was back on May 27th, and it was a 1-1 draw. We thought coming in, this is going to be a very low-scoring contest. It has not been that. Now St. Louis sends it down. Jackson offsides. And a quick whistle.
Yeah, and the other thing to be aware of in this second half, of course, is the players sitting on cards. 4 yellow cards handed out in that first 45 minutes of play. So, you know, you can't go into challenges being hesitant. As a player, you have to go into it the way that you always would. But you just have to be sure that you're going to win that ball in that challenge, because Gustavo Solario has not been afraid to go to the book in the first half, and I'm sure he will in the second. It'll be interesting to see if both teams can finish this match with the set of players, a full 11 out for each side.
Matt Pickens under fire in the opening minutes. Not really been challenged, especially the second part of that first half. St. Louis not able to really build anything offensively. Let's see if they can regain that rhythm that they had in that first 10 minutes of play.
Yeah, I think they just caught the Rowdies off guard. St. Louis did their first 2 shots. You've got 2 goals, and then really they had 1 shot from distance that Pickens really didn't have much difficulty with as far as shots on goal in that first half. But the same can be said for the Rowdies. They finished on their opportunities as well, but didn't really ask Adam Grinwis to come up with any big saves. He stopped maybe 1 shot in that first half, and the rest were all, he was looking behind himself and picking the ball up out of the back of the net.
Daniel Jackson hoping for another opportunity. He has been such a threat up top for St. Louis in this match. I don't think the Rowdies realized how fast that he was until that first goal was scored. Sometimes takes a moment, get your bearings just a little bit, realize what you're dealing with for the full 90. Here's Howe. St. Louis a little bit bunched up. And it'll go to the Rowdies once again.
Michael Manshoff there coming back. Some good one-touch passing by St. Louis in some tight confines. And Michael Manshoff aware of that, coming back and helping out defensively.
Here's Howe now. Tyler David with a touch. A little bit of rhythm established. Merkovic, and a good job As it looked like St. Louis just a hair away from Apia squirting through there. Defender was able to recover.
Yeah, good job by Damian Lowe to recover, because initially it looked like he was going to be able to get right through there. That's been a couple of times some lanes have opened up for St. Louis FC where they've had success breaking through that back four of the Tampa Bay Rowdies. And this time, though, Damian Lowe able to catch up, get on the right side of the ball, and block it out without a shot being taken, or having to come up with a challenge where you're asking the referee to make a decision if it's a penalty or not.
Tampa Bay. A little bit caught up that time. Nenchoff trying to slow things down just a bit. Here's Chavez working now for the visitors. Chavez will switch fields. Cal Porter. Porter free for a moment, and they couldn't hit him.
Oh, that was very close. Martin Patterson going down, tried to kick that forward as Kyle Porter continued his run, and that almost got through.
Brecky right now cannot believe it. Here's Murkovic. Pickens comes up and picks the ball up. Well, fans, stay up to date on the latest news from the USL. Coast to Coast with Mike Watts, Mondays, 9 o'clock on Sirius XM FC, Channel 85. Sirius will air the USL Game of the Week. Please check USLsoccer.com for dates and times. Ristov playing along that far side, tiptoeing along near the touchline, and it'll be a throw-in for St. Louis.
Well, tough to live up to that first half, isn't it? How that game started in the first 10 minutes of play, and we played 6 and change and nothing so far in the second half. But here comes St. Louis FC.
Howe out of the corner. Takes a blow.
That's a hard challenge.
And again, guess who? Damian Lowe, a guy who's already been red carded today. Wow.
Well, he's at the yellow. He's almost going to be red. He's red carded the next game. But that's a very hard challenge, and the way the cards have been coming out tonight, he has to be very aware of that. Doesn't want to put his team down to 10 men, and that one just blocked out in the mind of the referee in the end. And the goal kick to the Tampa Bay Rowdies.
Ball belongs to Tampa Bay.
You know, I'm normally a little bit slower as well after the halftime. You know, you go down, concessions, grab a burger, grab a bevy, and, you know, it's tough to come out the second half like you did the first half.
The fireworks have ceased, at least for the moment, here in Fenton. But I have a feeling we have still got plenty of thrilling soccer to come. Another whistle as Rowdies a little bit frustrated on their attack.
Well, Neil Collins coming up forward there and trying to get on the ball, and he was called for the foul. Not really much there, I think, just because he got his arms up a little bit, that the referee, Gustavo Solario, called the foul on Neil Collins.
Here's St. Louis trying to get organized offensively. And now getting some good touches. Quality touches. Apia backpedaling. And another whistle. I believe he may have been off that time, yes. Well, St. Louis has been through a lot this season. We talked about, Lee, how their stadium was flooded at the start of the year. About 40 feet of water here in this great venue. Also going through a coaching change, a new system, new players coming in, several injuries. Definitely many challenges that this program has had to deal with. And still, they can still challenge for a playoff spot. And sometimes, you know, the old saying, what doesn't kill you makes you a lot stronger.
Yeah, and it's a hotbed of soccer in North America. They've been big fans and supporters of the game for so long. The Matt Herman Award, the Heisman of college soccer, is awarded in St. Louis every year. I had the pleasure of going there one year to watch the awards when Christine Sinclair, the Canadian international, was a member of the Portland Timbers, and she was the recipient of that Matt Herman Award that year. They were national champions, the first ever national championship in that program's history in any sport. So it's you know, very vibrant downtown St. Louis, and they've got a great fan base.
Tyler David. And now the Rowdies set to make their first substitution of this match. Attendance tonight, just over 4,000 fans have come here at Toyota Stadium, and they have been treated to one heck of a game. Slowed down a little bit over the past 10 minutes. Now the Rowdies trying to possess. They have not had the edge in possession tonight here on this field. Pass missed that time. Another opportunity that should have produced something for Tampa Bay.
Yeah, Restrepo was making his run along that right-hand side, had his arm up, and the pass just behind him wasn't able to catch up with it.
Restrepo, at times a bit confused tonight for the visitors. Here's Jackson. Jackson one-on-one, and a corner kick.
A good challenge there once again by Damian Lowe, but solid work once again in the box by St. Louis FC to earn another corner kick.
Well, it's time for the Electro Savings corner kick. Corner kick brought to you by Electro Savings. Tampa Bay avoids danger. They're now a chance at a counter the other way.
And that opens some space up for Restrepo.
Restrepo sends it to the opposite side. Schaefer able to get a touch. Nenchoff. Now Tampa Bay threatening. Cross was there, and now nearly a shot. Restrepo just couldn't wind up that time. Long shot taken from the top of the box, and it's wide to the right. So Darwin Jones will come in for Tampa Bay, and this substitution is brought to you by G&W Meats. G&W Meats, proud sponsor of our first substitution as Jones enters for the visitors.
Yeah, and so that'll be a bit of a tactical change for Stuart Campbell and the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Patterson on that yellow card, doesn't want to see him sent off and be suspended for that next match against the Ottawa Fury at Al Lang Stadium, and that's exactly what that conversation is probably about. So Georgi Hristov, you'll see him, number 10, probably move into the middle of the park, take Martin Patterson's spot, and Darwin Jones will come in and probably play that left-hand side. But right now you do see Darwin Jones playing in that middle, so something a little bit different for him as he's accustomed to playing on the left-hand side.
Jones goes right to work, gaining possession for Tampa Bay, and making Grinwis come out and go to the ground for St. Louis. I'll tell you what, too, you saw on that substitution why the Rowdies love their head coach, Stuart Campbell. Immediately an embrace as the players leave the contest. Players coach Stuart Campbell is, and I think this team just loves him right now.
Yeah, he is a real player's manager, and they've gone with a shorter roster, this team, the Rowdies have, and that really creates a little bit more camaraderie in the room. Everybody knows where they stand. There's not that infighting and jostling in the locker room for positions, or just not happy that they haven't been selected. I think it really makes the team a lot closer. They do have the depth on the pitch still, but just having that smaller roster, I think, really changes things in the locker room for that side.
A very good chemistry working now does Tampa Bay. And a whistle now. Fans let our official have it. Gustavo Solorio, our head referee tonight.
Well, he's calling the free kick for the Tampa Bay Rowdies. It's a weird one. Porter goes in and kicks the ball and misses the ball, and the foul was called against Ryan Howe. So I don't think that the fans in the stands right now would be very happy with that one. It just looked like Kyle Porter missed the ball, and I probably would have played on. I probably wouldn't have blown that one down at all. I wouldn't have given a free kick to St. Louis either, because it just looked like an innocuous collision.
Tyler David, hometown star, former St. Louis University. Well, soccer fans, Nike is the official sponsor of the USL. For more information, go to NikeSoccer.com. Nike, the official sponsor of the USL. 61st minute, still 3-2 Tampa Bay. Here's David now. Defender on his back. A quick whistle, Justin Chavez had it marked tightly.
This is where you see now how the Rowdies can defend and how they have all season long. Tough to break through, but good job by St. Louis moving the Rowdies from left to right. But they get to the top of the box, and that's where you need to be a little bit more creative. Put your head up and see if anyone is making those diagonal runs into the box, and you can send that ball in from a wide position and try to get on the other end of it.
St. Louis really struggling on crosses in that Tulsa match last Thursday. That's why they were so excited to get Pleva back into the lineup. That was just a little bit too far ahead for Seth Rudolph to do anything with it. There'll be another goal kick coming up for Tampa Bay. It's Metro PCS, the exclusive mobile network provider of St. Louis FC, with over 75 St. Louis metro area locations. You can join the network that covers 99% of people in the United States. Visit metropcs.com for additional information and latest offers. First substitution for St. Louis as Petrosevic will enter, and Tyler David will go to the bench. Daniel Jackson also exiting for the home team. And here is Christian Valesky, the guy that we were surprised to not see in the starting lineup here tonight, Lee.
Yeah, because he got into that game starting on Thursday night, but now Preki seeing that he needs a little bit more firepower up there, but Daniel Jackson doing a good job in that first half. Valesky with 4 goals on the season in his 19 appearances so far this year for St. Louis FC.
That substitution brought to you by G&W Meats. G&W Meats, proud sponsor of St. Louis FC. Well, let's see if the changes have any impact on the tempo, the flow of this contest.
Well, you can see Preki right away. He needs to make those changes. He needs to switch things up and get some fresh legs out there offensively. Where the Rowdies did the same thing with their first substitution, bringing in Darwin Jones, rather.
Good pass right there, but again, just a little bit in front. The ball deflects off of our official, and it rolls out of bounds. Tampa Bay will throw it in.
Yeah, Marcel Schaefer doesn't miss too many of those. Normally it was Michael Nanshoff just getting into the box and not getting to that ball there. It would have been a dangerous opportunity.
Pia, nasty collision there. And again, it's Damian Lowe right in the middle of it for Tampa Bay.
Again, another big foul, and St. Louis FC is asking for that second yellow card, and that will be it for Damian Lowe. That's the last talking to he is going to get tonight. He came in there, and that was a hard collision. Watch Damian Lowe step up here. And yeah, he's a little bit late, and it certainly is a free kick as he got a piece of Emmanuel Appiah, and luckily for the Tampa Bay Rowdies, a second yellow card wasn't shown to Damian Lowe. I'd be wary of that right now, maybe a little bit if I'm Stuart Campbell, because you do have Tamika McCandawiri on the bench that you can bring in to make sure that you don't go down to 10 men. Lowe is already going to miss the next game on yellow card accumulation.
Ball goes out of bounds now. It'll be another corner kick for St. Louis as Appiah comes down to do the honors.
Right-footed in-swinger into the box here.
Corner kick brought to you by Electro Savings. St. Louis FC trying to do something with it. Another tie up there. Aggressive play by Darwin Jones.
Darwin Jones not happy there, saying that the assistant referee never even called the foul. How are you in a position to call that play when the assistant was 3 feet away?
Now this set piece will be kind of like a corner kick. About 3 feet in front. A goal by St. Louis would make this Toyota Stadium go absolutely crazy. They could somehow equalize. St. Louis in 13th place with 23 points. Schaefer there to clear it. Stoikov sends it in, and it's a goal! We are all tied at 3. Seth Rudolph was in the perfect spot, and he makes it pay off.
Stoikov with that long ball in, and Matt Pickens, I think, getting caught a bit off of his line, and he was. He's trying to come back and get that, not expecting that long ball to come right back out, and it's 3-3.
Well, that replay delivered by Domino's as Seth Rudolph, former George Washington star, scores for St. Louis FC.
Seth Rudolph with his second goal of the game to tie this all up at 3s.
What a night for Rudolph. And just like that, the stadium is all of a sudden abuzz. Petrosevic, another tie up. And again, Damian Lowe involved. This time, though, Lowe does not come out on the winning side.
No, he doesn't, and he looks like he's in a little bit of pain, and yellow card there. A bit of a scissors there by Petrosevic. You can hear the crowd getting pretty antsy now on this one. Damian Lowe is up and walking. He's not injured on the play, but watch right there. His legs get caught in between Petrosevic's legs, and Lowe goes down. That's where you see those ACL, MCL type of injuries, but Damian Lowe is up and all right.
So Stoikov with the assist on the last goal. Rudolph putting it through for St. Louis FC. And St. Louis giving Tampa Bay all they can handle tonight on the road.
A yellow card caution has been issued by the referee to St. Louis FC's number 25, Milan Petosevic, in the 68th minute.
So the Serbian, Milan Petosevic, served up the yellow card. And we're in the 70th minute. Several lead changes we have had tonight. Well, for 50 years, Jed Transportation has delivered a perfect ride every time. Jed Transportation, the official transportation partner of St. Louis FC. Receive special fan offers when you mention the promo code STLFC. Jed Transportation, the official transportation partner of St. Louis's football club. Cal Porter will throw it in for Tampa Bay. Should be a very interesting final 20 minutes. Apia working, lost it in a crowd. Darwin Jones trying to get free. Here's Nanchoff. Nanchoff, left-footed strike into the box and headed out by Ledbetter.
Nice turn there by Daniel Nanchoff to find some space and put that ball into the box. A little bit too far away for Georgi Ristoff, but in the end, St. Louis FC had to be cautious, and they end up giving up the corner kick here in the 71st minute of play.
Michael Nanchoff right in front of a boisterous group of St. Louis FC fans. Ball served up perfectly. And Tampa Bay had the right idea there.
Damian Lowe up in the box, just missing getting on the end of that one. You see Neil Collins making a run as well. And this time this is headed away nicely though by St. Louis FC.
Schaefer and Tampa Bay will reset. Surf up one more. Nice and high. Restrepo. A little quiet tonight for the Rowdies. And Tampa Bay will go to their bench once more. Alex Morel is back playing close to home. Will replace Walter Restrepo. This substitution brought to you by G&W Meats. How do you like it, Morel for Restrepo right now at this point?
I think it had to happen. What Alex Morel brings to this game is his speed. He attacks players 1v1. He's great off the ball too. He never gives up. He runs everywhere, and that's what you're going to need in this last 20 minutes is just a little pickup there, and that's what Alex Morel brings. He had won the starting position a couple of weeks ago. Had been USL Team of the Week 3 out of 4 weeks. Had a brace in one of the Rowdies wins, his first 2 goals in USL regular season play. So he's been very impressive so far this season for the Rowdies. Grinwis having to come out there out of his box and make sure he got ahead on that one.
It has been a battle up to this point, St. Louis and Tampa Bay. Now the Rowdies go back to work. This is Nanchoff. He's been very active. Ahead to Jones. Jones, chance at a cross there. Ledbetter cuts it off. Tampa Bay, another corner kick.
Yeah, another good play. I don't know if Jones maybe should have tried a shot. I know the angle was tough, and he was looking for Alex Morel in the box, but he was already closer to the goal line on that cutback. There was no member of the Rowdies there. And they get the corner kick out of it, though.
Stoikov able to get airborne. Right back though to Nanchoff. Nanchoff, another service. Try for the header. A little too high into the hands of Grinwis. How about Adam Grinwis former University of Michigan star, spent some time in the PDL, also spent some time with Rochester. You know, remember at the beginning of the season, they thought that Gorick was going to be the guy in goal for St. Louis, but all of a sudden it is Grinwis' job, and he is making the most of his opportunity.
Yeah, he has. Although he's conceded 3 tonight, I'm not sure, you know, on a couple of them what he could have done. I think the Schaefer goal that he would like to have back for sure. He got a piece of it, but he has done much better as far as his goals against. And you look at Grinwis, that's confidence coming out and coming off of his line in a position where you know you can't touch that with your hands. You're outside of the box, and he did a good job.
Well, takes a shot there, and that will definitely draw a whistle. So set piece will be coming up for the Rowdies. Ryan Howe, he has tried to be the enforcer tonight.
And there you see what Alex Morel brings. You see great footwork there to keep that ball from going out into touch and to keep possession. And if Ryan Howe didn't come in and foul him, he would have went right around him. At a dangerous position here to defend for St. Louis FC. As Nanchoff is over the ball, sending that left footer.
This is the 4th try that Nanchoff has had on a set piece over the last few minutes. Sends this one in, ball is loose, and it nearly got inside that far post.
It almost did, and a couple of Rowdies in there going in at it, and that just took a deflection right there off the head. I think it was Stoichkov that got in there to defend that, or it may have been Tony Walls just to get a head on it, or that could have been a goal for the Rowdies.
Here's one more. Right to the top of the 6th before St. Louis able to come out of there with it. Fans on the edge of their seat here in Fenton. And now a chance for the counter. Trying to score to pass through. Sliding down.
Zach
nice
Portillos, yeah, great job by Zach coming across. That could be a goal-saving tackle there as that ball almost got through the lane.
Trying to get Jones, those fresh legs. And the game for Tampa Bay as the ball goes across the touchline. It'll be a throw-in for St. Louis.
And the Rowdies at this point, a little disappointed that they're, you know, haven't been able to do anything with all those set pieces. They haven't been able to take advantage. When you have that many corner kicks, that many free kicks, your set pieces are something that you want to take advantage of, especially on the road, and to have those opportunities. You want to be able to make the best of them.
Another sloppy possession that time for Tampa Bay. Under 14 minutes of regulation remaining. St. Louis equalized with Tampa Bay, 3-3. Drew Felios, Lee Gottfried here on a Sunday night in the Midwest Toyota Stadium. St. Louis trying to reignite their playoff hopes. Tampa Bay trying to go unbeaten for their 6th match in a row. Here come the Rowdies. Ball served up a little bit too high that time. Now the Rowdies trying to fight and scrap for everything. Porter able to recover, and it's right at Grinwis.
Yeah, floated that one in a little bit too much. They did Kyle Porter, and now he's got to get back, as do the rest of the Rowdies, as St. Louis FC coming down on the counter.
Merkovic taking his time. That one's cut off. Porter in the right spot. Rowdies doing a good job staying wide this time.
Rowdies look the more dangerous when they have the ball. It's just when they get to the final third and
Jones
they do anything.
Centers it, squares it up, and the shot just to the left. Nanchoff had a clean look, but Grinwis able to get a hand on it.
Yeah, I think Nanchoff would have liked to have got a little more on that one for sure. He just gets enough of it, and Grinwis is able to get a great cutback by Marcel Schaefer. And there you see the shot, and you're absolutely right. Just that arm on it. Grinwis gets the right arm and saves the goal.
St. Louis defense walking a thin line, but that line is not snapped over the past 10 minutes, averting chance after chance for Tampa Bay.
Well, both of these teams are really stretching each other right now. The legs are starting to get heavy, and it's really starting to open up this game on the counterattack a little bit more. Right now, it's been Grinwis really the only save he's had to make here in the second half. Matt Pickens hasn't been tested really either. It's just been the goal that St. Louis has scored on their one real opportunity. And you got to wonder, as this dies down and legs get heavy, if it's just one mistake by an individual that allows another team to get a great opportunity.
Porter sends it down to Grinwis. Once again coming out for St. Louis FC. Again, St. Louis has not won in the month of August. Sitting at the bottom of the Eastern Conference in 13th place, only 23 points. Rowdies now with 34 goals this season, 10 clean sheets. Definitely more impressive with the stat line, but this is one of those nights. St. Louis at home on a Sunday night. And what they feel is a must-win game. They are right in position to get it done here as we near the stretch run.
Yeah, and if the result stays the way it is now, the Rowdies would have been in a tie earlier with the 3-2 lead on 40 points at Charlotte, but then they'll go into a three-way tie.
They cross this one in, and Lee, we are going to have another corner kick coming up. Nanchoff has been making a living on that far corner.
Yeah, he has, but fortunately enough for St. Louis FC, no one on the Rowdies has been able to get on the end of it. There's a player down, so they'll be stopping and taking this one. Again, just going back to those standings, it'll be Louisville if it ends the way. Louisville City on 38, Charleston Battery on 38, and the Tampa Bay Rowdies on 38 points. And the goal differential is so close. Louisville on +16, Charleston +14, and right now the Rowdies on +13. So
another substitution brought to you by G&W Meats. Seth Rudolph will exit the game for St. Louis. What a night that he has had. 2 goals. And in comes Mats Bjurman. So Seth Rudolph, full body of work tonight. He has certainly done his job. Let's see what Bjurman can do in relief. Tampa Bay, another header opportunity off the corner, and now they'll chase it down. And a whistle right there. And I think Alex Morel roughed up just a bit, and Tampa Bay will have another set piece.
they're backing up a bit, but again, Nanchoff over the ball. Yet to be able to test Adam Grinwis off of these set pieces. But you don't want to keep giving these up if you're St. Louis FC. Eventually, it'll cost you.
If there's any team that will make you pay eventually, it's the Rowdies. Here's another good ball, and right at the feet of Damian Lowe. If he did not have a defender right in front of him, that likely would have been a tap-in. Well, the USL, one of the most prominent second division pro leagues in the world, featuring some of the game's top talent and rising stars. Stay up to date by visiting USLsoccer.com. You can also follow the USL on Twitter at USL. Your Twitter been active lately, Lee?
Not too much. Must mean that, you know, all the action right now is on the pitch, as this has just been you know, a riveting first half, and just waiting for that big break in the second half. St. Louis has had the better of the Rowdies in the second frame here, scoring the tying goal, looking to go ahead and get the full 3 points at home. I think the Rowdies would be happy with a point on the road, especially the way this game has gone, but they've had it in their hands to win it as well.
Apia squirts through the defense. They're able to get the shot tried far post, and it goes just a little bit high.
So certainly both teams have had their opportunities to to score goals in this second half. It's the long ball and Seth Rudolph going off, but great little break between Zach Portillos there and Neil Collins. He just gets underneath that ball, always going away from goal.
Send it back now to Grinwis. St. Louis able to keep Tampa Bay off the scoreboard in the second half. Damian Lowe still on the field for Tampa Bay, making the most of his playing time, because remember, he will not be available in the upcoming match against Ottawa.
Very interesting to see both teams just going at it here in the last 5 minutes.
Here's Ristoff, tries to switch sides of the field, let Morel do something with it. One-on-one now. Trying to create a little bit of space, got his feet tied up, went to the turf.
Yeah, now it's opening up for St. Louis FC the other direction.
This is Pedosevich. He gets tied up, and again, Damian Lowe right in the middle of it.
Too. That's going to be, I think he was pulling for the card. Damian Lowe is out of this match.
Well, he just felt it was a matter of time. Just one too many skirmishes that Damian Lowe was involved in.
And you can see that he was not faking that one as he took the slap to the eye, and he's going to have to go out for some medical attention.
And I believe some blood across that eye. That is a scary scene right now on the sideline for St. Louis. So how much does Tampa Bay lose now in Damian Lowe?
Well, it'll be interesting to see what options Stuart Campbell will go to. Right now, I would assume that he's just going to drop Justin Chavez back. Here's a look from the opposite angle to see how this hand came up. And it's right there. It doesn't look intentional at all. It's from behind, but as Matt Pickens is able to make the save there.
It definitely looked a lot worse on the first try than it did during the replay.
Yeah, there was no intention to harm the player whatsoever, but when you do see blood drawn and the referee sees his back would have been to that foul. As Peter said it, still receiving attention.
Well, after the final whistle, head over to twitter.com/St. Louis FC to vote for your Pleats Man of the Match. Pleats Man of the Match voted on twitter.com/St. Louis FC. Final minutes.
Great work.
St. Louis and Tampa Bay.
Great work by Alex Morel. That's what he brings off the ball. He just never gives up. And there you see, well, I thought he drew the foul there as Precky's quick to get that ball going. He wants the win tonight, doesn't he?
For the Rowdies, a substitution coming up. So Kandawiri, number 17, will enter.
That's the adjustment he's making as Michael Nanshoff comes off the field, and Tamika McCandawiri will take the spot of Damian Lowe. For a couple of minutes there, it was Justin Chavez that dropped back into that center back position, but there's Tamika McCandawiri, who you'll see more than likely next week against Ottawa at Al Lang Stadium when the Rowdies return home. But this one's not over yet for St. Louis FC. As you saw, the passionate Precky on the sidelines wanting to throw that ball back in and get his team to try to win this one.
Substitution brought to you by G&W Meats. St. Louis trying to get near the 6. Very close that time. Ryan Howe was cut off at the very last moment, and now Apia will set up for a corner kick. And Pedosevich will come back in. A big round of applause from the home crowd. Ball a little bit low. And it'll be another corner. Electro Savings corner kick for St. Louis. Here's a shot on the ground. It deflects into the net. Oh my goodness. St. Louis with Austin Ledbetter has taken the lead.
Well, that's what you would take as a poacher's goal, is Conrad Pleva. Just the right place, the right time. There's the long shot. And Pleva, nobody picking him up. He's standing there, and he sticks his foot out. And Matt Pickens is going the wrong way. And that is just incredible as they confer to see if there was an offside on the play, but it is not. That goal will stand, and it's 4-3 for St. Louis FC. Incredible back and forth game here, as St. Louis now have scored the 2 goals in the second half, unanswered, to take the lead.
That replay brought to you by Domino's. Conrad Pleva, the man who scores. The player that St. Louis was so happy to have back after missing him in that Tulsa match. 4-3. 2 goals in the second half, shocking the Tampa Bay Rowdies. And now 4 minutes of stoppage time coming up. Ivan Mirkovic getting the assist. And now in stoppage time, brought to you by Hot Shots. Be sure to visit one of the 12 Hot Shots locations after the match. What a turn of events. Kickoff a little shaken up that time.
Here's another look as Alex Morel, I believe it was, way up there. And the foul called against him.
Tampa Bay desperately needs to regain possession here. St. Louis content to just let the clock roll.
Well, St. Louis FC still pushing forward. They'd like to get another one here. They're trying to keep the Rowdies on the back foot, knowing they're down to 10 men. It's more difficult to launch that attack as they go route number 1 now, is the best the Rowdies can do. Try the long ball and force the back line of St. Louis FC to make a mistake, just to try to get that equalizer here at the death. But it's going to be difficult. The fans now behind their team, and this is opening up right now. And he forgot the ball. Emmanuel Appiah.
Appiah can't collect for St. Louis. Tampa Bay looking for Jones. Jones has been unable to really shake free. Bierman. Taken away. Now inside the 18, deflection, corner kick coming up for St. Louis. Some tired bodies are going to be in the hot tub tomorrow. Christian Valesky coming in relief here in this match as time continues to tick away. It is running out on Tampa Bay. Electro Savings corner kick coming up.
Yeah, they take this short now, and St. Louis FC just wants to run time off the clock. And yet they've earned another corner kick.
Another Electro Savings corner kick. Electro Savings getting their money's worth tonight.
They certainly are.
Lots of corner kicks we've seen here in the second half. Tampa Bay unable to cash in on their opportunities. I think that's one of the key moments in this match. 10 minutes ago, Tampa Bay with several opportunities I mean, very close, but somehow St. Louis's defense able to hold up. This is a huge win for St. Louis, because if this lead stands and they go on and win this game, they are officially playoff eligible. They will bump New York out of that 8th spot. So as tough a year as it has been in 2017, St. Louis FC still making the most of a golden opportunity here tonight. This likely to be one of the most special wins of the year. St. Louis also beat Charleston earlier this season, but this win over Tampa Bay is as good as it gets. What a swing of events. St. Louis taking a 2-0 early lead, eventually losing it 3-2, but not giving in, coming back and finding a way to win 4-3, the final score.
Yeah, big night for Preki after darting out to that 2-0 lead actually at the beginning of the game to go down 3-2 and have that poise and determination to stay in that match and to come back and score 2 straight goals. As Marcel Schaefer not happy, and neither Stuart Campbell, probably on that goal that they think should have been offside, the game-winning goal, in fact, but that's not going to change things now that St. Louis FC are winners of this match.
Ivan Mrkovic, good job for St. Louis. The fans were treated to a good one tonight. Game where the start time was pushed up because of heat here in the Midwest. St. Louis with a 4-3 victory over Tampa Bay. We'll wrap things up. Final highlights and stats and a final word from Lee Gottfried when we return.
The best things in life are free, but you can give them to the birds and bees.
There's really only one place where the carpets are always red and the stars are everywhere you look. There's no place like Hollywood. Hollywood Casino St. Louis.
You guys are ready! Oh, you guys are ready!
Ticket, please.
Of course, I got it right here.
There's nothing there.
It's loading. It takes a little bit. Just give me like a minute, guys.
Here's my ticket. It's starting. Mine works.
Bob realized his network coverage was a no-show. That's why he switched to Metro PCS, because he figured out he gets a network that's more reliable than ever, covering 99% of people in the U.S. Switch now and get 2 lines for only $50 period, plus 2 free Samsung Galaxy phones. Metro PCS, wireless figured out.
Welcome to Toyota's National Clearance Event.
We love adventure and we want something safe.
RAV4 comes with Toyota Safety Sense Standard.
Just imagine the things we'll see.
Here we go. Oh, look at the zebras.
Oh, look at those 2 rhinos. Oh.
Are they?
Maybe the beach.
Love the beach.
Right now, you can lease a new 2017 RAV4 for $199 per month, or get $2,000 customer cash on a new RAV4.
Enjoy the sights.
Toyota, let's go places.
Well, a match to remember tonight for St. Louis FC as they withstand a 3-0 run by the Tampa Bay Rowdies, losing the lead late in the first half to come back and win 4-3. Drew Felios, Lee Gottfried, lots of tough moments these fans have had to deal with this year. They can enjoy this one here tonight, and a match that started with furious action, beginning with the goal by Daniel Jackson.
Yeah, I guess you could say it's how you start and how you finish, because it was bookends for St. Louis FC, with Jackson getting his 2nd goal of the year in the first minute of a play, and then they just kept coming. Nice passing there in the box. Seth Rudolph makes it 2-0 in just the 5th minute of play, but then the tables turned a little bit in the favor of the Rowdies. Marcel Schaefer with a drive with his left foot just outside the 18-yard box that gets past Adam Gwynwis to cut the lead in half. And then some sloppy defending here by St. Louis FC. A poor clearance, a save off the line, but right back to Georgi Ristov, who slots in his 7th of the year to tie the game up. at 2 apiece, and that was not it for the Tampa Bay Rowdies in the first half of play. Kyle Porter on that right flank. Beautiful ball into a diving Martin Patterson, who gets his 7th of the season and gives the Rowdies that 3-2 lead in the first half. Grin was just able to get a hand on it, but not enough to keep it out. And then how about this in the second half? Mount the comeback. It is Seth Rudolph once again getting up and beating Damian Lowe to that ball to tie the game up at 3. And then a couple of set-piece plays that the Rowdies had. Looks like they were on the verge of getting a go-ahead. This is a great little pass back to Nanshaw from Schaefer, and Grinwis gets that arm on it to keep it out of the goal. So, again, 3 threes as great defending, and then it led to this. The deflection and the goal by Conrad Pleva. The game-winning goal late in this one for St. Louis FC.
Conrad Pleva able to make this one pay off. What a night for St. Louis FC. Next game for the Rowdies, August 19th, as they will host Ottawa, 7:30 p.m. the start time on that one. And for St. Louis FC, little momentum now that they'll take into a match against Pittsburgh, 7:30 on August 19th for that one. Lee, final thoughts from this one. This was a wild game from start to finish.
I think that's what you can, put it all down to. What an unbelievable match of back and forthness, and it really was anyone's game, I think, for the taking. It is a game of good bounces, a game of bad bounces, and a couple of those for both teams tonight. And in the end, it's the home team that comes out with the win.
St. Louis gets the 3 points. They improve to 7, 5, and 9. Tampa Bay falls to 10, 8, and 5. St. Louis FC 4, Tampa Bay Rowdies 3. For Lee Gottfried and our entire crew, I'm Drew Felios saying so long and have a terrific week.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent from the United Soccer League.